I was just asked how I felt about Dr. Laura's recent comments where she used the N-word 11 times in a phone call. Now, can I first say, I do not like Dr. Laura. And it is a well-known fact that Dr. Laura is extremely anti-gay and or homophobic. However, as an educated woman, I didn't believe this was even true. Granted, I don't even know what they're talking about, so I did a little search, and I looked up on YouTube. I found a clip where the cutie patootie Anderson Cooper played, I think, almost all the phone call, like the entire phone call, and he said that he played all of it because he didn't want to misinterpret the message or the context of the phone call. Now, again, I am not a Dr. Laura fan. She has called gay people a biological mishap, or I wish I could remember the exact words that she used, a biological mistake, I think is what she said, a biological mistake. Dr. Laura is a very educated woman. She's a doctor. And in this phone call, I listened to Dr. Laura, and she is clearly an educated woman and very verbose. Now, in her defense, I listened to this phone call, and if it was two people talking to each other at the mall, I don't think it would have upset anyone. However, the fact that Dr. Laura is on the radio, and the fact that Dr. Laura is a public figure, because she's looked up to by a lot of people, she's held to a higher standard. Now, she knows better. I mean, I really thought this is a total fabrication, but the whole phone call was there. Now, for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, Dr. Laura and a black woman were having a phone call, and the black woman called in and said she is dating a white person, or married to a white person, and her husband's family is racist, and she's very annoyed and doesn't know how to deal with the situation. And Dr. Laura was like, well, are you being super sensitive? What do you feel is racist? And they were like, you know, how do black people this, that, and Dr. Laura's like, well, I think you're being super sensitive. And she's like, no, they actually use the N-word. And Dr. Laura's like, well, do you watch stand-up comedy? Do you watch this? Black people say it all the time. And then she proceeded to say it several times throughout the entire phone call. And I understand what she's saying. And then Dr. Laura was like, well, is it fair that only black people can say it? Now, I'm a gay person, and I say the word fag all the time. I mean, really not all the time. But I have said it before, like, ooh, you're being a fag or whatever, just playing around. And a lot of people have said it to me. Gay people. Now, if a straight person calls me a fag, it takes on a whole nother connotation. I think Dr. Laura is educated enough to know that it's not okay for a white person to say that word. I don't even like to say vinegar. I mean, it's not cute. It's not politically correct. It's not polite. Now, as an entertainer, if I'm doing a little Kim song and it's in it, I don't edit it out. Like, I'm not that, you know, afraid of that word. But I personally don't like it. I don't like it when other people say it. I don't like it when black people say it. It's offensive to me, and I'm not even black. So, do I think Dr. Laura was wrong? Yes. I think Dr. Laura was very wrong. I think Dr. Laura knew better. And just thinking like this, if you are flipping through the radio, oh, I'm tired of this song, and you flip it over, and she's like, N-word, N-word, N-word. I don't want to say the whole word, but let's say vinegar, for example. Vinegar, 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 vinegar. Like, repeatedly, you're going to be like, what the hell is going on? Who is this woman? So, I mean, no matter what she could have said, it could have been taken out of context by anyone. And it doesn't even really matter the context. The fact that she said it is wrong. And she said it 11 times in one phone call. Shame on you, Dr. Laura. And I also heard through my YouTube searching that Dr. Laura is now going to finish her last year of contract, and because her freedom of speech has been taken away, that she is going to quit after this year. And her freedom of speech was taken away because, I guess, enough people called in to complain about the use of her N-word that some of her sponsors have threatened to pull out paying for the show or the commercial advertising for the show, and she's threatened by that. But the reality is, I think her hand has been forced on other occasions. I mean, for 9 years solid, being extremely anti-gay and repeatedly calling gay people a biological mistake. And then all of a sudden, supposedly, and I don't know this for a fact because I have not done enough research, again, I just heard about this conversation, supposedly she's not anti-gay anymore. Whatever. I think that people, the reality is, people don't truly change their being. If you're dead set against something, you're always going to be dead set against that. Now, situations may change and circumstances may change and her behavior may change. She may not act overtly offended by situations, but she doesn't mean she's still not offended. So maybe she's not extremely anti-gay anymore, but I don't listen to her. Obviously, I don't really know what's going on. But the fact that she used the N-word more than once, it doesn't matter the context. She's in the public spotlight. And it wasn't stand-up comedy. She's not on HBO or Showtime doing stand-up. She's on a radio that women and children and all of America can listen to. That is wrong. And she should have known better. That's your Ask Misty. If you want more, check me out on Formspring, and talk to you soon.